It's about, I mean, they'll have to give them a flexible variance for the larger ones, which, it's not, usually they're trying to get smaller, so we're glad that they're doing larger. And that gate, that's right there, maintained.
So what about the road connecting to the spring line? Would that be 72 block?
So
Who's in the booth?
the way it's currently going,
Nope,
Kim
I
is going to be in there for a moment, hit a button and come
that's
out.
where the public road would pick up and tie.
She's covering today.
She is, she wears a multitude of hats, doesn't she?
She is wearing hats.
Gate, so the city street would pick up.
Turn this off.
Past the gate.
I really tried. It made no sense. I went over and tried to figure this out. The road's not complete.
You can't get back there.
No.
Horseback.
Good evening and welcome to the May 4, 2026 meeting of the Tupelo Planning Committee. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones. At this time, please rise for the invocation given by Patty Thompson and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Scott Davis.
Would you bow, please? We gather here today with a shared purpose and a commitment to serve our community with care and integrity. May we approach this meeting with open minds, thoughtful perspectives, and a spirit of collaboration. Guide us to listen with respect, to speak with clarity, and to work together in ways that reflect fairness, wisdom, and understanding. Help us make decisions that are thoughtful, inclusive, and beneficial to those we serve. Amen.
Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. The Tupelo Planning Committee is a volunteer group appointed by the mayor and city council. We do not receive compensation and do it as a community service. The committee spends a lot of time on our own funds studying and researching the applications and visiting the sites that are on our agenda each month. We ask that you remember that we do not take our positions lightly on any application. Our decisions are based on facts as they are presented and with regard to the regulations set forth in the city code. The Planning Committee may impose conditions on approvals of a request as it deems necessary to mitigate potential hazards or problems or bring the nonconformity into compliance to the extent necessary to protect the rights and interests of nearby property owners and the general public. At this time, I would like the staff and committee members to introduce themselves.
Tanner Newman, Director of Development Services.
Mark Williams,
Pam Hadley.
Victor Fleitas,
Leslie Mart.
Lindsay Leak.
Patty Thompson.
Scott Davis.
Kim Russian.
thank you. We'll now begin with the review of last meeting's minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting? Are there any additions or corrections at this time?
I move that we accept the revised minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. Davis, a second by Ms. Mart. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. It carries unanimously. The minutes of last meeting are approved. We'll now go to report on last council actions. Mr. Newman, do you have anything to report from the city council's actions from our last meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, on Flex Variance 2503, the variance at 1718 Briar Ridge. The applicant, Mr. Moore, did appeal that decision to the city council, and city council will hear that appeal tomorrow night. On major subdivision 2601 Treetop and Locust Lane, city council has approved the rezoning for that property along with the major subdivision application and preliminary plat. And the Gateway Landing one lot major subdivision for Peterbilt was also approved at the last council meeting.
Thank you for that update, Mr. Newman.
I'm sorry, which one is it that was, now in front of the council, is going in front of the council tomorrow?
The flexible variance appeal on Tony Moore, Mr. Moore.
The side setback.
The side setbacks for the house on the corner of Wilson and Briar Ridge.
Thank you.
All right, we are now ready to start our agenda. There are 3 items on our agenda tonight. As we work through these items, if you are here in order to comment on an application, please, when you are asked, move to the podium, speak into the microphone, and state your name and address before offering a comment. Is there any old business? Okay, we'll begin with new business. First item on our agenda is Flex VAR 26-03. This is a request to allow a 59.24 square foot electric sign on the ground instead of the allowed 40 square foot. Mr. Newman or Mr. Faulkner, have the surrounding property owners been notified?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, they have.
And were there any responses?
We have not received any responses.
Thank you, sir. Will the applicant or representative of the applicant please come to the podium, state your name, address, and present your request to the committee?
Good evening. My name is Nat Leathers, 2688 Timber Creek Lane, Tupelo, Mississippi, here representing Dodge's Stores. Our request is for a variance on our ground sign that we will place at the new Dodge store that we're building on Gloucester Street. When the application was submitted, they included the entirety of the gas price signs. I don't know, do you have the diagram of those?
Yes, sir. We received 2 diagrams, and they're labeled to us option 8 and option 9.
Okay, option 9 is what we are requesting the variance on.
Yes, sir.
If you look at that sign, the actual, what I would call digital portions of those signs are just the numerals. They included the entire blacked out section of that as part of the application, which is where it came up to the 59.24 square feet, because that's the entire sign enclosure. But the actual digital portion, when you calculate that just for the numerals of each of those 4 blocks that would move, you come up with a 39.16, which is actually less than the 40. So I don't know exactly how the code is written, if it takes into account just the movable electronic portion or the actual body of the sign itself. And so I guess our request is that if you're looking at just the electronic portion, it would fall under the 40 square feet. If you have to include the entire sign, that is why we're here to kind of, I guess, clear the air to make sure that we are okay with that variance, or try to get that variance approved if it has to be the entire sign.
Understood, sir. Is there anything else you would like to say?
I think that is it. The original option 8 would be eliminating the lower portion of the gas sign that says diesel on here, but it would have where the actual would toggle between cash and credit. So in our opinion, it would be a cleaner look where it would be a stable price, so it wouldn't be constantly toggling back and forth between cash and credit. So that's what this option allows it to do.
Thank
That's
you,
all
sir. Thank you, sir. If you will, just a moment.
Yes, sir.
Do any members of the committee have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I know this.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead,
On your
Mr. Williams.
existing signages that you have right now, I think right now it does toggle.
At the other location, it
At
does,
the
yes.
other location. So help me or help this committee understand what competitive disadvantage if we decided not to grant this would you guys face since you already have existing signage that toggles?
Yeah, the only competitive disadvantage I would say is the speed at which they travel past this new location. If you set out there is a little quicker than right there because we're at a light at the other location where we don't have a traffic signal at this location. So a guest that was driving down the road would have to be paying attention longer to see it toggle between the cash price and the credit price on the sign. So that would be to me, that would be the disadvantage, both from a safety perspective as well as competitively not being able, if they happen to catch the higher price, which was a credit price versus a cash price. And then also likewise, they wouldn't have to be as focused on the sign as they drove past it.
Okay, I guess, and I can see that point, but most gas prices are pretty much even regardless of which provider you get. There could be some variance in there, but
Typically, we'll price anywhere from, depending on the market and what the market conditions are, anywhere from 3 to 10 cent difference between cash price and credit price.
yeah, but wouldn't that pretty much mimic what other sellers of gas are doing as well?
Not necessarily. A lot of folks don't offer the cash price. Some do, but a lot of them don't offer that.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do any other members of the committee have any questions for the applicant's representative? All right. Sir, let me make sure I understand, and I'm sure we're going to get clarification from the staff, city staff. The way I believe that they are calculating the size of the sign, and I may be mistaken because it's sort of set out in option B, is by looking at the electronic portions of it. So if I'm looking at option 8, it appears that the measurements came to 45.2 square feet, according to the city's calculation as the code is interpreted by the city. Are you, so that I understand, certainly not questioning the way you may be looking at it, I just want to understand your perspective. Is it your position in looking at the city code that calculation is not correct and falls within parameters? Or are you using, what interpretation are you using to suggest that you're well within the city's requirements even with option 9?
Well, to me, it's not clear from whether it's the entire sign case or if it's just the digital portion of the sign. And so if you look at the entire sign case, which is where we came up, that's where the 59.24 square feet for this new option comes in when you measure the entirety of the what I would call the box of the sign. But if you actually look at the electronic portion that can actually be changed or toggled, which are just the numeral section, that's where in my interpretation, that's the only part of the sign that's electronic. The rest of it is just a metal frame box with a illuminated stationary sign above it.
Thank you, sir, and I'm sure I'll get more elucidation from it from the city.
Okay.
One more question. Option 8, it is my understanding, was approved by city staff within a certain 15% margin that they were permitted to act with discretion to allow option 8.
That is correct.
So that's a done deal if you accept option 8.
Correct.
You want to stand on option 9.
Correct.
What happens to option 8? Are you foregoing option 8?
Well,
Are you going back to the drawing board?
No, option 8 would be what we would go to if option 9 is not permitted.
Understood. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes,
Any
sir.
other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank
You may have a seat.
Thank you.
We will not,
Sign in on this, I'm sorry.
Yes.
oh, that's all right. So go right ahead.
I
We'll
just
take,
saw this standing.
that's perfectly fine. Take a moment, sign in. Thank you, sir. We will now open the public portion of the hearing for this application. Please try to hold your comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this application? Please state your name and the address when you come to the podium. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Hearing none? This closes the public portion of this application review. We are now open for committee discussion. But before then, does the Department of Development Services have a perspective on this application? Mr. Faulkner, Mr. Newman?
Mr. Faulkner, would you mind to go through the staff analysis?
I thought the bar, your exhibits there, that would help me. Okay, there's a little bit of confusion over the technical requirements here. As I understand, there is one set of criteria for the total size of signage that you could have, period. And out of that maximum, then there's a 40% of that can be electronic. And that's the dimension that we're trying to reach here. And you identified the area of the gas signs, the price signs as being electronic, but it looks like that block above that says full color message center is also electronic.
Yes, sir.
So that needs to be considered within that 40%. And I think you can see just from the looking at the option 9 drawing that it's probably over 50% of that sign area. Now, you could get the dimensions off of each of those two separate blocks that, and I think that's calculated on there as 59.24 feet. And, you know, the text of the language about calculating area, it says the minimum size box that you could draw around the copy. And so that's what this is based on, is the drawing a box around the copy. There's, you know, just an inch or so difference between that and the outside of the box where the price signage is. And probably, you know, not much more than that on the message center element. So it looks to me like the calculation of the area on option B is accurate. And it would be over and above the in-house variance that would already be granted. And so that this would be an additional variance if you chose to look at it.
On option 9?
Right.
Yes, sir.
And the final question on this is just in terms of a variance, there's some real basic criteria that apply to every variance that you've got to find. And one of them is that there is some reason that out of your control, the applicant's control, that you cannot make us comply with the ordinance. And obviously this is totally possible to make a sign that complies with the ordinance. And just on the fundamental standard for looking at a variance, that's basically the adequate reason to turn it down. So that's the reason that the recommendation was to disapprove.
Thank you, Mr. Faulkner. Do any members of the committee have any questions for city staff?
I do. On the,
Ms. Thompson?
where the amount of money that you pay for the cash and credit, those are actually electronic signs, correct? Not the old-fashioned kind where you have to stick them up there every time?
No, they're electronic.
They're electronic, okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions from any members of the committee? Mr. Faulkner, one question. You view the language within the code with respect to signage to be clear and not ambiguous?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
I have one question.
Ms. Martin? Sorry.
So even with their option 8, Tanner, maybe this is one for you. You guys already, just in option 8, in-house, approved a variance going over what our standards are.
Correct. I believe it was around a 15% variance that we allowed for option 8.
Okay.
And just to be precise about that, there's, technically, that's described as administrative flexibility, not a variance.
Administrative flexibility.
Right.
Thank you, Pat, for that clarification.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Faulkner or Mr. Newman? Thank you, sir. All right. I'll open it up for any discussion by any members of the committee. Does anybody wish to make any remarks?
It seems to be a simple, use the type sign they already use. We see it all over, it just toggles back and forth. No additional variance, they're already getting a variance to be able to do that. With that being said, I move that we deny the variance.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll second it.
All right, motion by Mr. Davis, second by Ms. Mark. All in favor of denying the application for option 9? Signal by raising your right hand. It is unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I just note that there is a appeals period beginning tomorrow. The applicants will have a 3-day period to submit an appeal of the decision to the city council.
Yes, sir, and I was just about to ask if you could please inform the applicant and the interested parties of their options going forward. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. The next item on our agenda is, it's a long one, RZ 26-02, parcels 084S-18-001-018, parcel 0845-18-001-004, parcel 084S-18-001-019, parcel 083U-07-066-06, parcel 083U-07-003-00, and finally, parcel 093U-07-005-00. This is a request to rezone the property at these parcel numbers located off North Gloucester Street from AO zoning, agricultural open space, to RC zoning, regional commercial zoning district. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Before you move on, I think that there was a typo maybe in your notes for the second parcel,
All right.
that it's 084S. I think you said 5. So I just want to make sure
I might
that we're
have read
clear.
it. It is 084S-18-001-004. Thank you, Ms.
04.
Mark.
You're
I'm
welcome.
glad you caught that. All right, Mr. Newman or Mr. Faulkner, have the surrounding property owners been notified?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, they have.
And were there any responses?
We've not received any responses.
All right, will the applicant or their representative please come to the podium, state your name, address, and present your request to the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I'll take this one.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is a request from the city of Tupelo to rezone around 226.59 acres of property currently zoned agriculture open to be rezoned regional commercial. This request comes as the city has completed the construction of Phase 1 of Woodford Way, just south of the new Target development, and construction of Phase 2 of Woodford Way is well underway. And so this request comes in addition to the next item on the agenda to create an overlay district for this section of town. So happy to answer any questions, but we looking forward to the new development that's shaping up in this area.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. We will now open the public portion of the hearing for this application. Again, please try to hold your comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this application for rezoning? Please state your name and address when you come to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Mike Waters, and I'm representing the last parcel that you mentioned, which is 083U-07-005-00 out of that list. And we were a little bit confused because the headings of the letter says, notice to adjacent property owners of pending application. But down in the letter, it's stating that this particular parcel is requested to be rezoned from agricultural to commercial. Is that correct?
Which, now on this map, which you show?
We're 5 acres. Yeah, within the yellow boundary. And so, with all due respect, I would say that we don't feel like we've had adequate opportunity to respond to that, because our concern is that and you may enlighten us on this, that the taxation part of that is going to increase when it becomes commercial. And so we would desire to wait until a later date to rezone.
I can speak on the topic. There would be no changes in the taxation unless there was some type of development on
really?
the property.
Okay.
The zoning
That's just our-
criteria would not affect it. It would
Okay.
just enable, for future development when that time, when the time comes, but it would not change it.
Okay,
strictly.
that's just a lack of understanding
Sure,
on our
sure.
part.
No, happy
We
to.
actually did the same thing a few years ago with the northern loop, where we rezoned the first maybe 800 feet from center line on each side of the road, commercial, and which all AO, agricultural. And none of that will be retaxed until development happens. But by rezoning it, it brings the development in.
We understand that.
So, but it will not
So
affect
there's
you. This
Pros
is,
and cons to it. We just
Yeah.
didn't know about that taxation part
we had
of
that
it.
same question come up a
So-
few years ago when we
Okay.
did the northern loop, and it
All right.
stayed the same.
I'm just representing my family, but
Uh-huh.
are you all satisfied with that answer? Okay,
All right.
so we don't have a concern. then.
All
Thank you.
right, sir. So you've made your presentation. Anybody have any questions?
Will you please sign in on that?
Oh, sure.
Thank you, Ms. Rushing.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you, sir. Appreciate your remarks. Anybody else wish to comment on this application? This now closes the public portion of this application review. We are now open for committee discussion. This is where I normally ask if the Department of Development Services has a perspective. The city is the applicant, so their position on the matter is clear. Are there any questions for Mr. Newman regarding this application from any members of the committee? All right. Is there any discussion by members of the committee? Do we need any discussion on this matter? If not, are we prepared to vote?
I make a motion that we accept the rezoning as specified.
A second.
Motion by Ms. Martz, seconded by Ms. Hadley. All members of the committee, show your vote by raising your right hand. It is unanimous. The matter passes. I don't think the city needs to inform itself of its rights regarding the matter, so.
Well, I just note that, so this will be a recommendation that will go
Go
to the city council.
to the city council.
The city council will take it up at the first meeting in June.
So that's just the rezoning, that's
Yes.
not
just rezone.
Yes. The last matter on our agenda is item TA 26-03. That is a request, this is a public hearing, request to consider proposed amendments to chapters 2, 4, 5, and 11 of the Tupelo Development Code. The proposed amendments would update the design guidelines for the mixed-use downtown overlay district, update definitions and standards for congregate living facilities, and establish the Town Creek Overlay District. Mr. Newman, has proper public notice been made in accordance with law regarding this agenda item?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it has.
And have any, this may be something because of the overlay district, have surrounding property owners received notice?
So in this particular case, this was strictly a public notice that was advertised in the Daily Journal.
Through the statute
That's
provided
correct.
for public notice. Thank you, Mr. Newman. Are we going to have a presentation by city staff regarding the agenda item?
I'll be happy to go through those, Mr. Chairman. So this public hearing is for the design guideline updates to the mixed-use downtown overlay district, the updating of definitions and standards for congregate living facilities and their allowed uses, and also the establishment of the Woodford Way / Town Creek overlay district. Tonight, we are requesting to hold the public hearing for these three items with a discussion and vote on the establishment of the Town Creek / Woodford Way overlay district, and then requesting that a vote be held at the June meeting for the downtown overlay updates along with the congregate living updates.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. So that means that we will defer action on chapters 2, 4, and 11 and take a vote today affirmatively or negatively on item 5.
Correct.
All right. We will now open the public portion of the hearing for this application. Please try to hold your comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Is there anyone here to speak for or against the items on the agenda, which are proposed amendments to chapters 2, 4, 5, and 11 of the Tupelo Development Code? Anyone here to comment on those matters? Going once, going twice? I will now close the public portion of this application review. We are now open for committee discussion. Does the Department of Development Services want to make any remark with respect to Chapter 5, the Town Creek Overlay District, prior to the committee taking that matter up?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'll just make a few comments. So this kind of goes along with the rezoning of that property for agriculture open to regional commercial. It establishes the Town Creek / Woodford Way overlay district. I will note that in our motion, we'll need to ask the council to make a clarification on which one they would like to name it, Town Creek or Woodford Way. This would be subject to any future development along Woodford Way would fall. This basically offers design guidelines for the street infrastructure. I know we went over this in our work session last week in depth with our city engineer. If any appeals of the staff decisions would go to a committee made up of the city engineer, public works director, and development services director, and any appeals from that board's decisions would fall to the planning committee. This is very, I guess, very much in line with the other overlay districts we have across town. You know, your Joyner overlay, your Jackson West, your downtown overlays. It creates or establishes a mechanism for a little further review of the design criteria for any new development, and so we're just trying to prepare and be ready when this development that we very much foresee coming. Just trying to get all of our ducks in a row.
Thank you,
Happy to
Mr.
answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Do any members of the committee have any questions for Mr. Newman on this matter? Mr. Leek?
Mr. Newman, on the the borders of the proposed district, Is it, where on this map are we?
It would, let me see.
Is that the one we need to look at?
Yes, that is it. So it would be the same, basically along that street line, it would be the same property that's being rezoned, from agriculture open to, regional commercial with the addition of that parcel where Target is currently located. This already zoned regional commercial.
Okay, all right, makes sense.
Make sure that I understand that as well. So basically from Gloucester over, with the exception of the Sam's Club kind of chunk, is not in that? Is that correct?
That's correct. So this is strictly the undeveloped property along Woodford Way, in addition to the Target development site.
Okay.
All the properties east and west of the new road that are being rezoned.
Yes, and the, I guess, west boundary would be town.
Natchez Trace?
Well, no, it would be the Natchez Trace on this portion, and then the Town Creek
Yes.
further south.
So Town Creek, not, so where Chipotle is and, Mother Shed, that is not in this?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, strictly for the undeveloped property.
So Joe Marshall's land is not in that as well?
That's correct.
Joe Marshall's land goes all the way back though. So
Yeah.
would the overlay like be at the back of his parking lot?
The yellow boundary on the rezoning application or rezoning map. Actually, there's basically two parcels that are not in the rezoning. They're already zoned regional commercial. It would be your Target parcel and the parcel that connects to or joins the northern loop that's owned by Tommy Morgan, I believe. And that is already zoned regional commercial, but it would fall in this new overlay district.
Okay, so not to be difficult, including where you see on the map, Joe Marshall's back parking lot.
Yes,
Is that in this overlay district or is it not?
no, the yellow line
I don't have a yellow line.
on the rezoning application. The rezoning. The road.
I'm sorry, maybe I'm looking at the wrong piece of paper. Does anybody have what he's talking about?
It's the one that was in your.
Somebody help me out here. Oh. That does make a bit of difference. I apologize for not having that. Yep, it must have gotten lost. Do you have that? We did not have that in our packet.
With your rezoning,
That's it.
Okay.
application.
Okay, we have it now. We have seen this
Okay.
now.
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate
No,
that.
no problem.
Tanner, I guess I got a question. In paragraph 512.2 of the Town Lake Overlay District, there's 3 paragraphs, subparagraphs to that talk about traffic signalization, driveway spacing, direct driveway, and subdivided properties will have direct access to driveway connection. And the way I understand that would be, once that does get developed commercial, there would be guidelines to direct how far they can be, the type pathway and so forth, but there's nothing currently in there that if a street needed to be cut from Woodway or what it's eventually named, all the way connecting into the existing Gloucester Street, there's no plans by the city to do any of that. That would take a developer to have to do that?
Yeah. So this is a very broad answer, but generally, when a street is built for any type of development, it's on the developer to build the street. They are expected to build it to city standards if they would like for that to become a city street. And so if it's built out, if it's approved and built out to city specs, then the city could accept the street. At this time, there are no plans in place for the city to construct those side streets off of Woodford Way. However, we have received some plans from some of the property owners who are currently planning some of those some of the construction for those streets on your map. I will note that on the map that you have of Woodford Way, it does show specifically where the curb cuts will be allowed. And so upon adoption of this overlay district, that map will be set in stone upon city council's approval that is specifically where curb cuts would be allowed, whether it's for a business or for a new street.
So if a business is in between that new business coming in would be responsible for creating a feeder street that goes to where the curb cuts are.
Correct.
All right, so these dotted lines are the possible locations of the developer-built street.
Correct.
Are these gonna be required to be built to city standards?
Yes. We've already relayed that information to the developers, and this language would actually lock in that they would be required to build them to city specs.
Okay. Now, this one on the left is most likely gonna be done fairly soon.
It's actually already been built. So currently Target owns half of it, and then the Scruggs family owns the other half, and we are in active discussions with them about whether or not that become a city street.
Okay.
But that connector street is being built.
So, all these traffic signals here are obviously already there, but on this road, the only one that will be new is the one on this end,
Correct.
right? These other are just proposed in the future when the traffic count
That's right.
says it's necessary.
That's correct.
And because they're on here, it will be required. As these are being developed, it will be required. It's not these are our suggestions.
That's correct. That's what this language that it was put together by our city engineers, it locks all of that in.
So any concern that this street here in the future comes out to no light on Gloucester?
Now that, again, what its connection to Gloucester, with that being an MDOT street, that would be up to MDOT whether or not a signalization was installed there.
But I mean, you know, Scott, to your point, if it was, you would create a natural logjam with too close proximity to
Well,
lights.
yeah, and that's just a concern, because then when it opens, your point of entry is here and here and here. The only real hope for another traffic signal would be here, because this one would be really right turn only. It would be tough. It seems like if this road is the only proposal to connect this large section here, that a light needs to be required with that road, or some other option which there's really no other option to tie in to a signal, because these all front the Walmart Sam's parking lot.
Yeah, I don't disagree as far as there are some things to work out, but again, I go back to MDOT controls
I understand.
Gloucester, and for us to say, hey, you have to have a signal, MDOT may have a different opinion. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but we would not be able to regulate that. Now, we could certainly work through some alternative street designs, which would be my suggestion.
I trust a good traffic engineer will figure it out when it becomes pertinent at some point, and have a workable plan put in place in cooperation between the state and the city, hopefully.
Sure.
Any other questions
I
for
guess,
Mr. Newby?
Victor, and I can agree with that, but my only thing is, until that's all worked out, Woodward Way really will not alleviate, and this overlay district really will not alleviate a lot of traffic coming off of Gloucester. Not until that's all complete would people wanna navigate that. They're gonna still use Gloucester. And when all that comes together, there's gonna be more traffic trying to navigate the same roads today.
I will note that the intent of this overlay district is to be proactive in the traffic congestion along Woodford Way. That's the intent. It's not as much as far as Gloucester. It certainly has an impact on Gloucester, but the intent is to be proactive in the street cuts, curb cuts along Woodford Way and the street connectors along Woodford Way. And so when you look at Gloucester, if we would have been proactive 25 years ago along Gloucester as we're attempting to do here with Woodford Way, we wouldn't be in as much of an issue with Gloucester as we are. And so the intent before you tonight with this request is to get ahead of the game and ensure that Woodford Way does not become the next North Gloucester issue.
And Tanner, to your point, I can see that because once those parcels get developed in commercial, you're solving for that, but unfortunately, it's not gonna help take traffic off of Gloucester.
That's true. It'll take some, I would imagine, traffic coming, from the west side of town, from the northern loop. If you're trying to bypass Barnes Crossing, you could take the new Woodford Way, and come out there across from Best Buy. That would alleviate some congestion if you were headed towards South Gloucester or Crosstown. But
That road on the north side of Walmart needs to be built soon. I mean, that's the one that's really gonna open that up to alleviating the traffic.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Newman? I have a very pedestrian question. Looking at the Town Creek Overlay District 5.12.2, I noticed that the sub paragraphs are numbered 1, 2, 3, and 3. Do we need to correct the last one to 4?
yes, sir, we do. Great catch. Just a clarification, so the street has been officially named Woodford Way. What we need to get a consensus on, and we'll leave that to the council, is the name, whether it's Town Creek Overlay or Woodford Way Overlay.
Should be Woodford Way overlay.
It should be.
Should be
yeah.
Town Creek.
Can't we just mandate that to them right now?
What would you like to name it, Leslie?
I think it should be Woodford Way Overlay District, because that's the,
Simple.
yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Town Creek could be
Anywhere.
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 All right. I see I'm outvoted.
All right.
All right, Mr. Newman, so that I make sure that I guide the deliberations properly. Do we need to move first to amend the overlay district to correct that paragraph and change it to 4?
Yes, I would say make a motion for make your motion on the item and then any amendments that need to be made to it.
Fair enough. And do we also make a recommendation on the naming of the overlay district to send to the board, to the
Yes.
council?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, any other questions for Mr. Newman? All right, let's have some discussion, if any.
I think we've had it, right?
Yeah,
All right.
I thought we had it.
Do we have a motion on forwarding a recommendation to the city council on the Woodford Way overlay district?
I'll move that we approve, or recommend, with the amendment that the name change from Town Creek Overlay District to Woodford Way Overlay District. And under the 5.12.2, the repeated third paragraph, numbering of the third paragraph changed to 3 and 4 instead of 3 and 3.
Second.
All right, motion by Mr. Davis, seconded by Mr. Williams. By show of hands, the matter passes and the committee recommends to the city council adoption of the Woodford Way overlay district with the amendments as set forth by Mr. Davis.
Just as a side note, can we make sure that the document that we reviewed does include this, electronically? Because the one packet that I received did not have it. So
The
just
yellow
to-
boundary?
Yes, just to
Yes.
make sure that that's in the yellow boundary.
Yes, ma'am.
That, yes.
Yep, I've got it right here.
Brain not working.
Well, actually, the yellow boundary needs to include the target property as well.
That's correct. It does.
Oh,
And the parcel out on the existing northern loop that has already been rezoned.
oh, so we need to amend, wait a minute, does that mean we need to fix the motion?
No, It covers it.
Okay,
You're good. I will
you'll
email
fix the map.
the map.
So it's just the little RC parcel that's not in there.
That's correct.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right. Everybody, thank you for being here. The city council will review our decisions, and Mr. Newman will report back their findings at our next meeting. Mr. Newman or Mr. Faulkner, do we currently have applications for the next meeting?
Our
business.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, could we make a motion to table
Yes.
the congregate living and downtown review guidelines for action at the next meeting?
My bad, I will, we need to have a motion to defer a vote on chapters 2, 4, and 11 of the Tupelo Development Code until our next meeting.
Move the table.
Mr. Leak so moves, Ms. Thompson seconds. Show of hands. It passes. Items 2, 4, and 11, chapters 2, 4, and 11 of the Tupelo Development Code will be taken up by the planning committee at our regular June meeting.
That's right. Actually, chapter 5 as well for the downtown.
And chapter 5. Sorry, for the
Okay.
downtown. It includes downtown.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, as far as next month's meeting, yes, we did receive an application today, by the way, thanks to Ms. Rushing. We have formalized a monthly schedule for the submittal process, and when you all will receive the packet before each meeting. Today was the deadline for the June meeting, and we did receive a subdivision application, major subdivision application, preliminary plat for the expansion of Spring Lake. It's around a 6-acre parcel between Thomas Street and Spring Lake. And they have proposed 8 additional lots with a new street entry off of Thomas Street. So we will have that item for you at the next meeting along with these 2 items we've tabled tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Since we have business, I believe our next work session would normally be scheduled for May 25. Does that work for everybody?
Is that, wait a minute, that's Memorial Day.
Oh, I'm sorry, so our meeting actually will be later.
Well, June 1st.
June
would
1st
be-
is the day we're supposed to hear. May 25 is Memorial Day, so
Is May 28th, that Thursday? Would that work?
I will
Or
not
would
be
you
present, so it works for me.
The 26th or the 28th, either day would work for us. Tuesday or Thursday.
I'll be overseas, heading overseas that day, the 26th.
Will we be
Is every-
back for the first? Will you miss the meeting?
I will miss the meeting in June. I think I'd mentioned that at the last meeting. I won't be back till the 13th of June.
He's gonna be playing.
Mr. Williams, are you gonna step up to the acting chairman role?
Oh, he is.
I'll step in as acting chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Williams.
when are we having our work session? On the 28th?
Or the 26th?
I would say the 26th.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna be out of town on the 26th. When,
Who's gonna be here on the 28th? I'm gonna be here.
I'm good for either day.
Me
We do
too.
the 28th.
All right.
Leslie or Lindsay, 28th?
28th.
Okay, the work session will be May 28, and the next public meeting will be June 1, 2026. This works for everybody? Except me? Yes?
Can I ask, are we back to starting the work session at 5:15 or 5:30?
I would prefer 5:15, but I would defer to
I'm-
the board meeting.
We all would.
Yeah.
15.
5:15.
At 5:15 PM with the public, with our meeting at 6 PM on June 1st. Thank you, everyone, for your cooperation tonight. Any other comments or discussion? Mr. Newman or Mr. Faulkner, anything else for the committee?
No, sir.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Thompson and Ms. Mart, first and second, all in favor? It
Yay.
carries unanimously.
Thank you
We
guys,
are
thank you all for
adjourned.
coming.
Thank you all.
Absolutely. Thank you.